Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are shopping my stash for the month of December. Don't mind me, I'm just in my pajamas. I just finished putting on some makeup that we actually just shopped. So you're getting a little sneak peek of some items that will be in my makeup basket for December. But I hope you enjoy it and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, to start us out on top, we have the normal setup of project pan items over here. I am so close, well, I'm not really so close to finishing a foundation, but I'm making good progress on a foundation, so I won't be picking a foundation. I'm working on two. I have a primer that I'm almost done with, so I might pull a primer. I definitely need primer. Then we have, well, this is not in the project pan. I have a blush palette, so I probably don't need much blush, but for the most part, we have a good bit of like face products over here, and everything over here we'll be putting back when we go through the doors, except for these products. I actually haven't gotten a chance to wear these yet. I've been planning other videos and doing some other things, and I just haven't got to wear my deep, like, vampy lips yet, so I'm gonna keep these out. This one is not a vampy lip, but I have been enjoying wearing it a little bit, so I'm gonna keep it out. So these are gonna stay out until I wear them. Once I wear them once, I'll go ahead and slip them back in my drawers, but I just haven't got a chance to use these yet. Okay, starting out in this first drawer, we have a lot to put back. I have two primers that I was working on a little bit last month. Let me pull these primers out. Okay, so I was working on this step 1 primer. I'm gonna put this back and switch it out for this. It does a little bit of pore filling, and I've noticed that I've been a little bit more oily lately, so I didn't think I would get use out of this in the winter because I tend to be really dry in the winter, but for whatever reason, my skin is changing a little bit. So we'll pull this out, and then I had pulled this out. I don't know if I shopped it for November, but for December I am going to shop my stash for this because I have been needing still, even though I am oily, I still want something that feels hydrating on my skin before I go in and apply makeup. So I'm going to pull this out and try to get, maybe I can make a good dent in this before the end of the year. And then also I think I'm going to do one glowy primer since I'm almost done with my other glowy primer. This is the more intense one, the backlight priming filter. So I'll pull it out too. I'm gonna slip these back right there. I don't need foundation. I don't really need blush, although this blush up here that I have pulled is a little bit more cool tone, so maybe I can pull a warm tone, but I'll wait and pull that as I need it. I do need powder. I actually finished up my powder, which you'll see in an upcoming like project pan update. So I think what I'm gonna do is pull two powders. This one's more glowy and this one is more matte, obviously. And so these will be good options for this next month, and maybe I can get a little bit of use out of this one, probably expand the pan in this because I've got some good pan going in it. So I'll pull that out. Now I did want to put this back. I used this in November a good bit, and in fact I wore off some of the like pattern on top. You probably can't see it very well. I love this bronzer. It's just so good. So I'm gonna leave that there, and then I have a bronzer coming in the mail. I did a little bit of shopping, they call it Black Week here in Sweden. So I did a Black Week shopping thing here, and I should have a bronzer coming in the mail this week. So I will leave that blank until that bronzer gets here, and for the time being, I'll just pull something out of here. But for now, we will put that back. I also have this giant stack of things to put back. We have a highlighter that was really fun to use. This is a warm tone blush that I was using that I probably will use again, but I'm not gonna shop it specifically for this month. I used my Essence blush a good bit, and I used the Hoola bronzer a little bit since it was in there. It's a really great bronzer. I actually love this shade for fall. It's a little bit more, not cool tone, but it's not quite as warm as some of my other bronzers, so it's really good for the winter. And then I did get some use out of this. I know I said last month that I wanted to get a feel for if I was going to be able to pan this next year, and I think I got an idea of that successfully, so you'll see this in a Partners in Cream project pan or something next year. So I know I have that blush palette up there, and it's a blush and highlight palette that I'm gonna use mostly for like the winter time, but this one is such a light shade. This is Flexitarian from ColourPop. It's such a beautiful shade, but it is very like very bright. Let me see if I can give you a swatch. It's really not the best lighting because the sun goes down here at like 2 o'clock now. I'm doing the best I can with like artificial lighting, but there's really no sun out today either. So I am going to pull this out because if I don't get use of this product when the sun is down and I'm at my fairest, then I'm probably not going to get much use out of it because in the summer it looks very like stark on me, even though it's a really good formula. Okay, one other thing that I want to pull out from this drawer is my Naked Skin Concealer. I have been using my ColourPop one and I've like flown through it a little bit, so this is probably my lightest concealer in my collection, and since again we're kind of in those dark days of winter, this will be a good one to pull out for like the fact that I just don't have any tan on me right now, so this one will come out. And so that means I also need to slip these back into my collection. Like I said, I made really good progress on this last month. Like it was not, I mean, it wasn't new, but it also didn't really have much progress, but I like put a dent in that bad boy. And so I'll put both of these back, although I probably occasionally will grab this out because I just like it for like more when I want my makeup to look its best. This is my go-to concealer, but I'm not specifically trying to use it this month. So that's it for this top drawer. Okay, moving to the second drawer, we are putting back just a couple of items. I have this steel glitter here that I didn't really get a chance to use, but I also realized like I pretty much used it up. So right now I'm just gonna slip it back in there until I can use it like maybe a couple more times, and then I'll call it done. And then I did get a chance to use this liquid liner from NYX a little bit. It's such a cool like metallic shade. I don't know if they make this anymore, and I'm giving you the world's worst swatch, but I did wear it in a video, and a lot of people liked the brown lipstick and the look, and it's just a beautiful like metallic brown liner. So I had a lot of fun with that in fall, but we are definitely moving into winter here, so I'm gonna kind of just leave most of this alone, although I will pull out a couple Super Shock shadows to play with. I don't know about y'all, but in the winter I get into like moods of wanting kind of more soft, neutral to cool tone looks. So I'm gonna pull all of these guys out and just have the goal of using them once over the month. So I have ColourPop Rainbow here. This is kind of a white glitter topper. And then we have Frog, which is like the classic shade that has like that pink champagne kind of thing. It has a little bit of blue reflect in it. Then we have a Golden Apple, I think, Juicy Apple. This is Juicy Apple, which is just a gold kind of sheer glitter topper. Then I have I Heart This, which is kind of a neutrally, almost champagne kind of shade. We have Fringe, which is a little bit more warm tone, but really similar. And then I have this one here, which is Birthday Wish, which this is one of those shades that I love in the pan more than I love it on my eyes. So I'm hoping to kind of play with a little bit of like colorful matte kind of situation and see if I can get this to shift a little bit more. Like it's so duochromy in the pan, but on my eyes it never looks like that. It just looks kind of like a champagne. So I'm gonna see if I can play with it maybe with some mauves or something and see if I like it that way. And I do believe that's kind of it for this drawer. This drawer is a little bit boring this month otherwise, but for now we'll close this up. Okay, for this last drawer, we have a lot of eyeshadow that needs to go back in here. And in fact, I'm not going to fight with putting them back in here, but I'll show you what I'm putting back. I'm putting back my Natasha Denona Gold palette. Let me show you the inside of these palettes. They're so beautiful. So that's that one. It's such a warm, beautiful color story for fall. And I did really enjoy using this in November, but for December, we're going to put this back. I also got to use this a couple times and it was really beautiful. I actually had the goal of only using it one time, but I ended up using it a couple more times. So I'm gonna put this back too. Again, in December, I start moving a little bit more towards neutral and cool tones and a little bit less of the warm tone vibe. So that can go back. I also got to use my Dose of Colors palette a little bit, not as much as I would like, but I did use it a little bit. Although some of these like jewel tones in here are really good for winter, so I may end up sneaking this back out. But for now, I'll put it back. This Saharan palette by Juvia's Place was in a Project Pan and I did hit goal on that, so this can finally go back. Now the Emeralds palette I did use on Thanksgiving and it's so beautiful. It's such a good palette. Although I do prefer to kind of pick some like shimmers from other palettes to pair with this. I ended up pairing this past month with the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Those couple like greeny golds in that palette and it was really pretty, but I think my favorite pairing is from the Saharan palette. This like green in here. Like that green with those greens are just perfection. So both of these can go back though. And then we have the Soft Glam palette, which I can put back. I like to wear this when I have like a pop of color on my lips, which I got to do it maybe once, not as much as I'd like to, which is something that I may end up pulling back out. I did kind of use this more for the mauve tones because I am starting to get more into mauves now that we're getting closer to winter. But for now, I'm gonna put this back as well. And then this one I'm torn on because I technically know we still are in fall and I only really wear this palette in fall, but I've been creating other looks with other palettes for future videos. So I haven't got to wear this as much as I wanted to. So I'm tempted to leave it out, but I think what I'm gonna do is put it up and then if I decide I want a warm tone look, I'm gonna make myself reach for this. But for now, I do need to pull out some like specific winter palettes because I am trying to work on my winter color series. Hopefully that comes up or goes up in December. So I'm really trying hard to get those videos together. So this one just doesn't fit into that color scheme at the moment. So I'm gonna put it back too. Okay, now to pick out color palettes for winter. I know off the top of my head, I really want to play with this Marc Jacobs Electric palette. Such a beautiful, like, it's got some cool tones over here, and then these shimmers are just outstanding. I really cannot wait to play with this more. Okay, and the next one I really want to play with is this Truly Madly Deeply palette. I've played with it a little bit here and there for videos, but I haven't really given myself the chance to like go for it with this palette and like get creative with it. So I'm gonna let myself play with this month. Moving on to another sparkly palette that reminds me of the holidays, we are gonna pull out Sultry for sure. By the way, I heard that this palette is back in stock for a limited time and it's so good. So if you missed out on it the first time, I highly recommend it. It is a really good like neutral to kind of cool tone palette. I think it's more neutral than it is cool tone, but it is a beautiful palette and I don't use it a ton because I have too much eyeshadow, but that's just another story. So the winter time and the holidays are definitely my favorite time of year to wear this palette. It's just such a good palette for that. So I definitely want to pull this out and get some use out of it. And then I have two other palettes in mind to play with. I have my Night and Day palette from Makeup Revolution or Revolution Pro. This is a Pat McGrath dupe for the Subliminal, one of the Subliminal palettes. I've used this shade a little bit, mostly for these two over here, and they're so beautiful. I did use the gold the other day for a video, and it's so beautiful. So I definitely want to get more use out of this. I think this is just such a winter color story to me, so that definitely needs to come out. And the last one here is my new palette. I literally got it in the mail yesterday. I think it was yesterday, maybe. And so this is the Sigma Enchanted palette. You can tell I've kind of swatched it already because I'm impatient, but I have not worn it on my eyes yet, and so I'm excited beyond belief to actually use this. So this has to come out for the month of December because it's just a beautiful kind of like, has a little bit of cool tones, has some jewel tones. I'm dying to play with this. I've been lusting over this, and when Beauty Bay did their little sale, I got a really good deal on it, so I definitely want to play with this. That has to come out. So this is definitely going to go in my basket this month. And I think that's it. I'm going to wait and wear those statement lips a little bit, and then I'll pull other lips as I need them, but that's all for this. Okay, so this is everything that we've pulled to use for the month of December. Make sure you say hello in the comments. Let me know what you think. What are you pulling out for this month? Are you excited to wear jewel tones, sparkly? What are you into for winter and kind of December? I'm dying to know. Make sure, again, you say hello, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.